All right. All right, so the look of this hood, basically what I'm going for is the Ram Air 400 hood that's normally on the exclusive models of the second gen Firebird. They normally do it in paint, but I'm doing that in steel with an actual raised bulge that looks similar to a cowl hood. So essentially finishing off the front end with all the custom stuff I'm doing, which is basically just the Trans Am kit, but just done with more aggressive looks, with a bit of Japanese flair to it by adding it to the flare also. And with that Ram Air 400 hood, it'll give it like almost like a side bulge similar to a cowl hood. And I think that will make all the wild modifications make sense up the middle of the front of the car. So it's going to be a bit of work. The little stitch welding is the best for when you have to do really thin metal. Really thin metal is hard to weld, so like you got to make sure you stitch weld. That's usually when you put on fenders and things like that. I think it's gonna look pretty cool, to be honest with you. All the stitch welds are looking like that. I'm gonna work them down. I gotta go back with the hammer and dolly from the other side. I've already clearanced the bottom of the hood so I can get in there and hammer and dolly it out. I'm sure that it ought to be a bit of an endeavor to do that, so we'll work it out. This is what I did. I took the center section from this 280Z hood at this crazy paint job that it had on there, spare 280 hood I had, and I cut the center section out to make that cowl blister, you know, power bulge for the Firebird. And basically this is where all of that metal came from. Back at it again. So I started bending the quarter round for the hood now. The quarter round, as it goes around the lip of this, I think I showed, no, I didn't show that I cut the hood out. So, no, I did show that, I cut the hood out, okay. So, I cut the hood out, and now I have the shaker inside there, just kind of situated in there. I started pre-bending the quarter round for the hole. So I am still working it down for the shape, but as I work it down, it's getting gradually closer and closer and closer. I'm bending it by hand, and when I weld it actually on the underside of the cowl skin, I will smooth it in there via the welding. Then it'll give a nice flushed out lip around the inside of the cowl. So I started also hammering and dialing the inside of the cowl, because even though this is a 280Z hood, it's not like the 240 hood, where the 240 hood actually is clean all the way up to the top of the rain gutters. It actually has like a notch in it, and the notch is actually there because normally that hood has heat extractors or heat vents, hood vents, all right? So when I cut it off, I had to weld filler inside the negative area. So yeah, that's what's on the plate today. There's Lucy. And that's what I'm gonna do. And so I am back on the hood. I realized that the cowl that I got on here has more Bondo in it that I didn't know about. So I'm going to take some of that out, if not most of it out. So right now, I'm going to grind down a little bit, and you can check that out. Back to the hood. You back in the hood? No, back on the Firebird hood. Firebird hood, welding inside the quarter round in here. I have to prop it up against the wall because I don't have any set up to where I can weld vertically. So I got this up against the wall. So that's what I'm doing. I'm also messing with the fender a little bit. I got a little bit of straightening that I wanted to do, so we're gonna do that. Check it. Boy, finally finished welding the inside of the Firebird's shaker hood opening. That was a mother. Mainly because it was difficult to get the actual welding gun inside of the hole, the space I have on the inside of there. Really, a lot of that is, a lot of welding that is, is being comfortable. And being able to get inside here behind this little ridge and so on and so forth, which I still can't decide whether I want to keep the ridge, you know, or not, because I wonder how it'll look from the top. I want to open this up, but I'm still not 100% sure that's what I want. Wasn't trying to make a cowl hood per se, where it actually needs clearance on the inside of the hood to make room for like air intake or, you know, things of that nature. But this is mostly, the blister is mostly to accentuate the shaker hood, that's the shaker scoop, snorkel that is, that protrudes through the hood to give it like an accentuation. So that was what the goal was. So I'm still in the mix of trying to figure out whether I'm trying to make it look like just a cowl hood or actually make it function like a cowl hood. So I'm still gonna figure that one out in the meantime, in between time. So now I got this top piece made. I haven't actually welded it on yet, but get a bit of an idea. Gonna finish out the look of the cowl. So give it the back part. I'm gonna trim this back piece right here and give it a nice little overhang. But then I got to go over it and put some quarter round in the inside, weld it, and then bend it and straighten it to fit the arc that the shape has. Let's see if we can get a little bit better. So now, since she's just kind of bumbling around, you can kind of see like that. Yeah. I gotta cut off these little quarter round sticks that are going through there. Once I cut that off, I'll weld some quarter round around the perimeter of it, and then finally weld it to the actual bulge in the hood. And then we'd have a finished out piece. Okay, I cut the quarter round, made it to shape. So this is the back part of the cowl. Inside the back part, you have to line the metal with quarter round, or else it's just a straight blade still chilling there. What I do is I make it to shape like this, and then tack weld it in there and fill all the edges. When it's actually filled, once I tack weld it like this, it basically gets filled, and then I grind it down to make it straight. Makes it really beefy. So I'm gonna do that all around the perimeter and the inside, basically like this. Oops. And get a little bit of an idea. Can't get it to stay. Like that. Then I'm gonna weld it on. All right, yep, okay, yes. So, Mr. Totem back in the hood. Finish out the top part of this cowl. So, I said I was going to make the crossover, and I did. I cut out of some steel, and I shaped up the end over here on the metal side, and this is it. So, what exactly did I make? I made a dressing piece for the backside across here. As it cuts over across that snorkel, I made this dressing piece that goes across like that. Now, that dressing piece, if you look low, you can kind of see how it basically finishes out the shape of the cowl. Now, you can still see the snorkel poking through the hood, through the top of the cowl. And yeah, I think that actually finishes it out pretty nicely towards the back side of the hood, and makes it have a full length from the rooter to the tooter. I got the crease on there also that goes up the middle of the hood and continues past the snorkel to that dressing piece. Now, the thing is about those flat pieces like that, whenever you cut them and make them out of steel, you got to make a little flange around them, but not as a flange, but more like a finishing out. So the edges, if you don't do it right, it looks kind of like this razor sharp end right there. That razor end, it's not very good looking. It doesn't look finished, and that was the whole purpose why I mentioned that I was going to weld quarter round inside there. Well, this is basically what it is. Let's hold it up a little bit better. Like that. All right, you can kind of see that quarter round was tack welded in like that, right? But it's been finished out like this because I welded all the way across, as you can see in the video. I welded all the way across, tack welded, and basically bonded it to the edge, right? Ground it down on both sides like that. See it? And basically finishes out the end. It finishes out the end so that it looks more substantial and solid, but moreover, it is substantial and solid. So all throughout the back, if you see this side, you don't really see it, but I still tack welded it anyways. And literally, it just kind of dresses it up and thickens it up. I did it along the edges too, so it gives that solid look. Okay, so that is going here, and I today am going to weld that on and get it to looking like it's supposed to look on its full blister hood greatness. So I'm gonna finish that up, and that's literally gonna be kind of the last bit of metal that I'm gonna do on the hood. And it's gonna go into bodywork phase after this. I still haven't necessarily decided if I wanna clearance out the underside to you know, make it full way through, but I'm not 100% sold on that just yet. But we'll see after I get that all, because that's underneath. I already clearanced the inner structure to do that if I wanted to. So we'll see what happens. Now, that bulge itself has basically become fully grafted in all the way to length.